Hello everyone, it's Adedoyin Jaiyesimi here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that comes up quite frequently when I'm speaking to professionals. Now it's not even younger professionals, mid-level professionals, senior professionals. It comes up every now and then, and I just thought to talk about it and also share my experience, and it's about building your professional confidence. So I have a video where I talked about imposter syndrome, but I just thought to go a bit deeper because I've seen how a lack of confidence really limits the results that professionals are able to get, and it affects their self-perception, which then impacts on how they put themselves forward, the kind of roles that they apply for, and just their self-perception of themselves. So I'm just going to share a few tips that will help you to build your professional confidence. And in any time where you feel like, oh, your confidence is low, you can always come back to these tips, because there will always be moments. I don't know, well, let me speak for myself. It's not every single time that I'm always like absolutely confident. There are times where I'm nervous. There are times where I don't think I can do something. And I come back to these tips to get myself on track and do what I need to do. So I'm going to divide the tips into two: the external factors and the internal factors. I will start with the external. One of the big things that will help you to build your professional confidence in the communications and public relations industry is the knowledge that you have. So prior to 2020, again, those of you who have read my book, I was pretty much winging, let me say winging, because I was learning as I was going. But the point is, I didn't really have any formal knowledge of communications and public relations. I was just learning as I was going. And because I have really, really great research skills, I will research certain things and be able to put together maybe plans, strategies, and all of that. Now in 2020, I did my master's program at IE Business School, and something really, really shifted for me, because a lot of the things that I had learned on my own, I saw the proper way of doing them, and there were a number of things that I didn't even know that there was a theory or a name for them, and I was like, oh wow, so I've been doing this the right way all this while. But the bottom line is, by the time I graduated, my confidence in my professional ability really, really skyrocketed. Like, there's nothing you can tell me about developing a communication strategy. I am confident that I know how to do it. I may not have developed a communication strategy for example, the mining industry, but I know the rudiments, I know the frameworks, I know the thinking that goes behind it, because what knowledge and education does for you is you don't just know how to do something, you know the why. Why is it created this way? Why do you have to do research first? Why is audience segmentation important? What are the dynamics behind building trust or brand equity? So I understand the why, because I have seen the academic research, I have listened to different players saying this is best practice, because so you know why you do what you do, and that is very, very, very important. So invest time in developing and building your professional knowledge, whatever way you can go through or whatever avenue you can go through to develop yourself. Please do, because it really, really does help you. Look, no one can take away from you what you know, as in I can tell you that free of charge. Once you know something, that in itself brings a layer of confidence. Now, the second thing that I would say to you in terms of the external factors in building your professional confidence is you have to be committed to being the best you can be. So just last night, I stumbled on a report from Page Society that was talking about, I haven't even read the report. So what I do is when I go on LinkedIn, I see something that's interesting, I send it to myself on WhatsApp. But I read a summary of it. It's about the role of the Chief Communications Officer, how to elevate the role, and how to make sure that we are really delivering the value, or the CCO is delivering the value that the organization expects. And there's a report around that. And I am going to read that report to see, okay, what can I learn from this? What new thing or what new theories or ideas are they really building on? And you have to be developing yourself in that way. You have to be committed to being the best you can be. So that's not also only about learning, it's about the delivery of your results. Are you committed to doing things excellently? Because there's a confidence that comes with when you do something and you do it well, and I can't even explain it. So you have to be committed to that. How can I be the best in this? How can I deliver my very best? Because that in itself brings confidence. And I said to you at the beginning that even in the times where you have the low moments, those times where you delivered excellent work, those times, or the record or the documentation of the excellent results that you have achieved will also be things you can rely on to say, look, maybe this time I made a mistake, or maybe this time this seems bigger, but I've done it before, so I already have what it takes. So that helps you to boost your confidence as well. The third thing that I would say is really immerse yourself in not just the PR and communications industry, but in the industry where you're working in, whether it's healthcare, finance, technology, or whatever. I've just recently come out of attending the Africa Public Relations Association conference, and it was such a beautiful experience. Obviously, I'm going to do a blog post and more content on that. But just immersing yourself in that space, seeing how other people are doing things. I listen to stories or experiences from different professionals, how they've executed different campaigns, the challenges they faced. Interestingly, while we were going on a road trip, I learned about the role of spokespeople in the public sector, how they go about their role, the thinking, and that's not an experience that I have. So there's a way it really, really opens your mind, because you just never know where your career is going to take you. So if I find myself in a room where they're asking me about being a spokesperson for a public official or whatnot, because of that conversation, I already have a broad idea. So you really need to immerse yourself. The seminars, the hangouts, the cocktails, the summits, the conferences, not even just in your country, but even across. So Women in PR Ghana, they're having a summit in July. Plan to go, right? Maybe PRSK, they're doing their annual conference, or the East African PR Week. Go for these things. That is how you build your confidence. You meet people and there's a sense of validation. It's like, okay, I'm not the only person that has gone through this. I'm not the only person that has made this mistake. So please immerse yourself in the industry. And if you are working in healthcare, for example, go for the health conferences, whether in your country or outside your country, and advocate for your organization to send you on these things. You must let them know the importance of that, and that's a way to build your confidence. The final thing that I would say on the external point is really be intentional about your growth and stretch yourself. Come out of your professional comfort zone, because if you don't stretch, you don't give yourself the room to experience new scenarios and new possibilities. Because sometimes you have a lack of confidence where, for example, something has changed in your organization. Maybe there's a new CEO or there is a merger, and maybe you're being asked to step in to fit into new shoes, and that can be very, very scary. But if you have worked on yourself, if you have worked on your network, it's easy to pick up your phone and say, I found myself in this situation. Can I get some tips? So sometimes that confidence is coming from the growth that you have, from the network that you have, your ability to know who to talk to, because you may not have all the answers, right? But you may know someone, and that's why I think I'm very confident in my career that, look, I may not have the answer, but I know someone, whether it's in Kenya, it's in Mauritius, I can pick up my phone and say, hey, I have this. Do you know someone I can talk to? Do you know someone who has this? And please, don't be afraid to lean on people, because again, like I said, when you interact with professionals from across the continent, you realize that we all really have similar journeys, and learning from other people's experiences also helps you to build your confidence. Now, going to the second half of it, which is the internal. I've been thinking about it quite a lot, and I think that the internal is very, very, very crucial, because we've seen this, and not just me, there's research, and you'll find the research saying that this affects women more than it affects men. You see someone who is a CEO, has all the professional certification, has gone to like Harvard, Oxford, but yet they're still not as confident as they need to be. And I'm wondering, with all of these accomplishments, with all of these things that you have done, why? And I realized that the internal is very, very important. How do you see yourself, and what are the things that you say about yourself? So I'm a Christian, I believe in God, I get my identity from Christ, and I speak the words that God speaks over me. I have my confessions, I have my affirmations, so that even though I am going into new territories, I know that because God is with me, there is absolutely nothing that I cannot do. I know that the Holy Spirit is going to teach me. I know the Holy Spirit is going to show me. So let me give you an example. During the APRA conference, there was a pre-conference with students, and that morning I had learned that because I thought that it was a panel discussion, so I was just waiting for the questions to be able to prepare for it. And the morning I realized that, it's individual presentations. Now, the students all speak French, I speak English, and I was like, what am I going to say? But I wasn't panicked, because there's a scripture that I always quote over myself, and it says that you will open your mouth and I will fill it. So I always say that, God, every time I'm opening my mouth, fill it with your words, fill it with the things that I need to say. And that's what I did for this particular engagement that I had, and God really gave me the words. Literally 10 minutes before I went on stage, I put down in bullet points the things I needed to write. I went there, I said it, God took control, and it was absolutely beautiful. So how you see yourself is very, very important. What is your self-confidence like? How do you see yourself as a person? Are you always talking down on yourself, or you're building yourself up? Those things are very, very important. You may have all the knowledge in the world, you may have all the experience in the world, but if you're talking negatively about yourself, you will continue to have low confidence. Another thing that I will tell you in terms of building your confidence is your ability to do it afraid. Let me tell you something. There are so many times that I'm scared, I'm not so sure, but I do it afraid. Again, my confidence and my faith is in God, and I know that God is with me. I know that God is backing me, so I do it afraid. And you realize that once you're able to step out and do things afraid, despite the fact that you're having this doubt, despite the fact that you feel like, I can't really do it, once you step out, there's just a way that things fall into place. I've just seen it. Like when I step out, supernaturally God connects me with someone, or I find the answer here. I don't even know how to explain it. So you must be willing to do it afraid. Don't just say, I don't have confidence, and just stay there, right? Step out. And that's why that thing is called do it afraid. You're afraid, but you're stepping out. There's a definition of courage that says that it is not the absence of fear. So it's not that fear is not there, it's not that doubt is not there, but you step out irrespective of it. And then the third one, I think I alluded to it in the beginning, is affirmations. Write affirmations. Look in front of the mirror. Speak to yourself. I am the absolute best communicator there is in Africa. I deliver excellent communication strategies. My client, whatever it is that you want to write. I have affirmations, I have confessions that I speak over myself. I also speak the fact that I know that there is nothing that I cannot learn or understand. So I speak to my brain. Brain, you understand. Brain, you assimilate. Whatever the task is that is brought before me, I have that confidence that I can do it and I can deliver. So you need to have affirmations. Write them down. You can also record them as voice notes and listen to it over and over again. Our words are so powerful. The words that you speak over yourself is absolutely powerful. And if you're one of those people that you say to yourself, you are stupid, what you can't get it, you speak negatively about yourself, let me encourage you to stop it. Speak positively about yourself. It really does matter. In fact, I want you to see your words as seeds that you're sowing, and it begins to germinate, and it really does have an effect on how you see yourself. And then finally, read books. I think one thing that really helps me, aside from my faith in God, is because I love reading autobiographies. I love reading about successful people, or just people that public figures and whatnot. I love reading about their journeys. And for a majority of them, I don't want to say all of them, but for a majority of them, I've seen moments that they've also had self-doubt. I've seen moments where they also weren't sure, but like I said before, they did it afraid. They overcame whatever doubts that they had. So it's not an experience that's unique to me. Even the most successful people have the moments where they're not so sure, where they're second guessing themselves, and that in itself makes me say, look, Adedoyin, this person did it, so you can do it. And then I back that with scriptures, I back that with prayer, depending on where your lack of confidence is coming from. Because for some people, it is in your upbringing, and you have to be very real with yourself. There's something that I always say, knowing yourself is so important. Knowing your triggers and maybe what trauma responses or what trauma that you face maybe in your childhood or in your life are leading to certain behaviors in your life. It's very, very critical. I had a time where I had to see a therapist, and that really brought certain things to life. So you need to understand how deep does this go, because if it is really, really, really deep, you may need to see a coach, you may need to see someone that helps you to deal with the root cause of where this lack of confidence is coming from. So that self-awareness is going to be very, very important in building your professional confidence. And then finally, and I'm wrapping up with this because it's really important, please speak positively about yourself, speak positively about your career. Even if you're faced with something that is absolutely daunting, speak positively, right? Like, there's no task. I always tell myself, Adedoyin, there is always a way. You can do this. You have the aptitude, you have the knowledge. There is a way. And I say, God, show me the way, show me the how, show me the way, show me the how. And I keep praying about it. So I hope these tips help you to develop your professional confidence. If there are other tips that work for you, please feel free to share them in the comment section so that other people can benefit and more professionals show up as their best selves, their most confident selves, doing exceptional work across the continent. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.